Talofa, everyone. Welcome to our little space this evening. Could I just ask our candidates, all of you who are candidates that are on my list, would you mind just coming up the front and taking your place anywhere on these seats up the front so we can target you with our cameras? If your name is on my list, please come to the front and just take place on any. We should have 18 of you here. 18. Come on, Peter, you need to be first. Tale's here. Yeah, look. The Tongans are here. The Tongans are here. Look out. Samoans are way behind. Come on. Where's Carol? Samoans are way behind. Yeah, 2 Samoans, 1 Tongan. Just because there's numbers doesn't mean you're first. Yeah. Just because you got numbers. Excellent. Sully.
Good.
Retirement. Beautiful, beautiful. I got everyone's name on my list here, so. What a good little turnout. This is fantastic. Yeah, Alf's here. Good. Okay. Why don't we all just give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that. Fantastic that they've turned up tonight. Come in, sir. Grab yourself a seat. There might be a few people still coming in, but that's all good. Well, talofa lava ma lolelei, whakalofa lai atu ni Sambula Vinaka, taloha ni, ma lolelei, namaste, ni hao, bonjour. Who else have we left out? Oh, namaste. Namaste? Yep, excellent. Have we got everyone? And kia ora, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Welcome to our little space this evening. So glad you've taken time out of your busy family lives to be here tonight, because this is a historical moment in New Zealand history, and you're here to witness that. So you give them a round of applause for coming here, please. Yeah. So tonight I have a program. My name is Pale and I'm in the Fale. Hey, easy to remember. I have a program and I have a list of questions here, and I was reminded that this is a family friendly environment here. So we know what that means, eh? Or do you want me to spell out the rules? You want me to spell out the rules? Okay, before we do that, why don't we just ask our Creator to come right in the center and make sure that we're all in the same space. Is that okay? Let's just pray for one moment. Our Creator God, we give you thanks for another opportunity to be together as a community out here in Mangere. We give you thanks that we can pull ourselves away from the busyness of our lives, and in this quiet couple of hours to center on some things that are really important for our communities, and not just for today, but for the generations to come. We invite your presence, we invite your guidance, we invite you to take control of all the things that we think and feel in this room and keep it nice and safe for us. We ask all these things in your name. And everyone said, Amen. Excellent. Okay, so I'll start with the house rules because I was given those early on today. Now, where are they? Oh, yeah, sorry, they're back here. I think there's only 3 of them here, so it's excellent. So the first thing is no offensive, discriminative, disrespectful, coarse, or aggressive language or behavior will be allowed. Is that all right? Okay, you want me to read out the this is for everyone at the moment, all right? Do you want me to read you the second one? Okay, the second one says this. All candidates should be provided fair and equal opportunities to speak. Is that okay? All right. So to help out, I've got a bell. So as soon as your minute is up, I'll be ringing the bell. Yeah. And the last one here, oh no, I won't read that because we won't be throwing anyone out tonight, will we? We won't be throwing anyone out tonight, will we be? No, that's right. Because we are family. Oh, I want to hear that loudly. Because we are family. Turn to the person next to you and say, you are absolutely amazing. What is your secret? Go. That secret didn't last very long, did it? Some people's secrets are very short. All right, I'm looking at the group here. I think we should have about 18 people here. Some people are familiar to me, others are not. But we're just going to go straight into our program because we're only here till 8 o'clock. And then all the lights go off. Okay? So what we've done is we've got a program. We've got the candidates. They'll have an opportunity to introduce themselves. I've got 3 questions to ask each of them. Each one of them have been given the questions, so they've been preparing their answers. Some of them are saying, no, they haven't. That's okay. You'll make it up as you go. But the key here is you only get a minute to answer. Now, I've been asked to keep strict timing, so I've got a minute timer here and I've got a bell. Have a listen. Excellent. So when that bell goes off, that means you're ready to chop off. In fact, I'll hit the bell about 10 seconds before your minute is up. Okay, sounds like school, doesn't it? And because Alf's up this side, we're going to start with him shortly. So preparing you, brother. And we're just going to go around. So your first thing is to introduce yourself. I'll just make sure I've got the question. Your name, your cultural and professional background, and what are your personal values as a leader? You got that question? Easy, eh? You can do that in 30 seconds, but you've got a minute. Okay, are we ready to start, people? Are you all ready? Yes, I'll get a chance to do that, yeah. That might be some of the other questions also, yeah. So that first thing, just your name, what is it now? Your name, your cultural and professional background, and what are your personal values as a leader? And then we've got 3 more questions. Okay, shall we try that for the minute? Okay, we've never done this before, okay, so here's the bell. Are you ready, Alf? Okay, you need a microphone. Now you just hold the microphone at the bottom, I've been told. There you go. And don't forget, this is being live streamed, so no lying. Okay? Yeah, a live stream means no lying, all right? Because it's going around the world in 15 seconds. Okay, are you ready, Ralph? Here we go. And your minute starts now.
Kia ora koutou and talofa e Alpha Lapaina. Mother is Māori from up north, up in Naurua, just about 20 k's from Kaikohe. As my mother, my father is from the village of Whaleatu in Upolu, Samoa. My values is being inclusive and making sure, from my perspective anyway, that I end up having a voice around the governing body table. I have been that voice around the governing body table since 2010. I ended up at Manukau City Council as a voice for Māori and for Pacifica, but more importantly for the community. I spent 38 and a half years in the police and currently been councillor 22 years. I've got 12 seconds left, and so I just want to say that I wish everybody on these chairs all the best. I put the apologies in for Lotu. She is at a farewell, and so I should be there, but she wanted me to be here is more important. Kia ora.
Nice. Just pass the mic on. Round of applause to everyone for the crowd. Thank you. The time starts now.
My name is Manoj Kumar, and I'm from India. As you can see, that my ethnicity. But I'm here as an interpreter, and I also drive buses in the weekends. My main job here is working with the union, working for my colleagues, and stand them like that they will get a good wages and good working conditions. Now, as far as this is concerned, I want to extend my ability to make a commitment with the community, and I want to work with the community so I can I can use my what is it called, like law knowledge into the community. Thank you very much.
Good evening, and handsome MC. Nice to see you well dressed and represented. My name's Malcolm, and I've lived in Mangere-Bridge since 1996. I was born in Samoa, but I lived in Asia in my early days and in Wellington. I went to Aorere College, De La Salle, Otahuhu College, and then I tried one more time and I went to Onehunga High, and that was a good school as well. I grew up basically because at 7 years old I saw a man begging at a train station who was suffering terribly, and not a single adult was turning to help him. And since then, I've just been really aware of the ability to fill in the gaps in this world and the need for people to be served and to be helped. Like it says in the Bible, when one mourns, we should all mourn, and when one celebrates, we should all celebrate. And without the Bible, I wouldn't be here today. I'd probably be trying to scam people living and retiring in Hawaii or something. But loving people and serving people just fills my boat, makes my why every single day. And I love these guys, and we're blessed to have all these people with their experience so far. Thank you.
Kia ora tātou, ngā mihi atu kia koutou te wiki o te Māori, te reo, ake tonu ake. My name is Walter Inoke Tungiamua. I've decided to carry my grandfather's name this time around to acknowledge my late mother. Born in Niue, educated in the Waikato, and worked most of my time in South Auckland. 10 years plus in the police, currently working for Turiki Healthcare, and been on the local board for the last 12 years as a deputy chair this time around. My personal traits, I've grown pretty much my whole working career in South Auckland. And I have a passion to listen to our community and have aspirations to help our Mangere-Otahuhu. For an example, when we came onto the super city, there was no swimming pool at Toia. After our first term, we managed to build that swimming pool. That's just one. Thank you very much, and all the best to our rest of our candidates. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora koutou, te ahiwaru waiahua, te akatai waiahua, tēnei te mihi, tēnei te mihi, tēnei te mihi. My name's Christine O'Brien. I'm a current local board member and running again for the Mangere-Otahuhu local board. On my cultural background, on one side, which we mostly identify with, we're entirely Irish. And on the other side, my mum's side, we are English and German and unfortunately Australian, I have to admit to. I was born in Wellington. The first of my family arrived there in 1839, kicked out of a poorhouse in Kent in England, and made the journey on one of those dreadful ships across to New Zealand, and we've just grown from there. My professional background, I'm qualified in English and law and adult training. I've had worked as a court registrar and worked for the Employment Court, the Arbitration Commission, and then I went into legal publishing and then scholarly publishing with Auckland University Press. Currently working in community engagement for the MP Jenny Salesa. Is that me? And 10 seconds. Okay. And my values, I think, are Labour values. That is inclusivity, fair day's pay for a fair day's work, social justice, and we all are stronger if we do it together. Kia ora.
Kia ora katoa katoa. My name is ko Magarita Kolo tōku ingoa e noho ana ahu I Mangere. I'm of Tongan descent and I live in Mangere for 40 years. I came to New Zealand in 1975 and have part of my education here and part in Tonga. So I've been working for NZ Registry prior to my involvement with the community many years ago. And I've been working in the community of Mangere-Otahuhu and South Auckland for 25 years. Been volunteered for CAB for 5 years, both Mangere and Otara's Citizens Advice Bureau for 5 years, while I was working for Minister Aupito William Seo. So I worked with him for about 13 years, and now I'm currently with a local board, Mangere-Otahuhu local board, labour value are my values. So thank you.
How are you feeling? Is it sounding okay to you? It's good, eh? Okay, so just remind our candidates of the question. Question is your name, your cultural and professional background, and what are your personal values as a leader. Thank you, Tali.
Oh, good evening, everyone. My name is Tale Solomon Moore. I've been born and raised here in Mangere and have worked in Mangere for over 30 years in the education and training space. My values are, I guess, for a number of years in the institute that I worked at, the main motto was a Samoan proverb, "O le ala I le pule, o le tautua." The way to lead is to serve. And I think we can say that easily, but, you know, if we're doing it, that's another question. In the various community spaces that I've been, as an educator, as a board of advisor, and as a church member, that I've been able to serve with my whole being, and I'm really looking forward to, I've put my name forward for the local board because I know that I'm ready to serve.
I love it. Thank you, Carol.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for all of you coming up to support, and want to acknowledge all these beautiful people around me. I'm a child of Māori. I was raised here, educated, and both here at Otahuhu. I stand here as a person from this community. My professional background, wow. Okay. I've worked with children, our vulnerable children. I've worked with our prisoners. I've worked with their children. I've worked in the spaces of our community in terms of restorative justice. Gosh, when you get to my age, you don't want to remember a lot of things too. So basically, I'm running for the Manukau ward, and I'm wanting you to support me because the values that I carry have been instilled by the community, by my parents. And I guess looking around, it's really awesome that the people are here to listen, because that's what I want to do. I'm going to listen. I'm going to work with integrity. I'm a person that can work in those spaces and work collaboratively. And I want to work together so that we can have better outcomes. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou, he uria hau ngō Ngāti Hene, Wakato, Ngāti Awa, ko se Reihana Tara, tōku ingoa. Kia ora. I'm born and raised here in Mangere, actually 4 generations. My nana, my mum, me, and now my children. And my dad's from a little place called Waiomio, which is about half an hour away from Waitangi, and I'm sure everyone knows where that is. I have a master's in business. I've worked 16 years in a multinational company as a marketing manager for Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific Islands. And then I quit that job because I thought it wasn't really fulfilling my purpose. So then I started working in kaupapa Māori organisations where I worked for Whakata Māori or Māori Television as the head of partnerships. And then I worked in some other Māori media spaces. And I also worked for an organisation called Ngā Tuki Whakarururanga, which works to protect Māori trade interests in the global space against free trade agreements. And then I'm back in Māori media again. The most important things to me in terms of leadership are kotahitanga. I think different ways of looking at the world but having the same vision is really important. Integrity and transparency. Kia ora.
Kia ora tātou katoa I roto te ingoa tapu o iu karaiti. Firstly, vi ia lia li'i kia ka metaki a dea tua. Kia ora nā family, my name is Joe Glassy Rasmussen. Look, I love Mangere-Otahuhu. You know, it's been my home for over 30 years. I'm a son of the Pacific, but also son of the 275. Just a bit of background about myself. I attended school here, just up the road here, at Robson Road, but also went to the greatest school in the whole of Auckland, New Zealand. Mangere College. Hāti Mangere College boy. After that, got into some education. I'm actually a registered nurse by profession, been practicing for 15 years. I used to work at Beta Drive Doctors locally for about 8 years, and then, sometimes you got to move out, and so I worked in as a nurse educator covering the whole of Auckland, but also worked for Health New Zealand, and currently my current role is I work with pregnant mothers and 0 to 5 children. I love what I do. I was elected in 2022 as my first term. The reason why I'm standing is because I love Mangere. I love Mangere, and I'll continue to advocate for Mangere. Number 2 is, look, I've got experience under my belt. It's not as hefty as some of our local board elected members, but I've got 1 term elected in 2022. That's enough for me to just learn more. And I've seen what it's like, but also the shortfalls we have. I'm going to finish. And lastly, family, just one more. Lastly, the reason why I'm standing also, the third thing, the most important thing is I'm standing because I have 3 young children. That's the reason why I'm standing, because I want to make sure that Mangere-Otahuhu is a safe place, is a productive place, but an easy to navigate place for my children. And also your children as well. That's why I'm standing. Ke manui and God bless.
Talofa lava, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight to our community and our viewers at home. Thank you, Pali, for introducing everyone. My name is Luke Melamu. My family home was on the corner of Buckland and Allen Street, and my wife's from Yates Road. I'm a former Orere College student from the 90s. My professional background, I was a massive social worker for Strive Community Trust for 10 years, based at Orere College, so I got to serve at my old school for 10 years. I've been in security the last 20 years, and I'm blessed to be owner or CEO of Melamu Security. I'm also in the health and wellbeing. My family, we own Fit 60 in Takanini, and we're also in ECE, so I'm part of Mangere Pacifica ECE on Brooklyn Way. My values are honesty, integrity, family ownership. Those are installed through my business. I do see things a little bit different from everyone else, but that's my business background. Thank you.
E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā kārangatanga maha, tēnā koutou katoa. Māloi lelei, my name is Vicky Hau. I am firstly Tongan, so I'm MMT 676 hard. I actually was born and raised here. I was born and raised in Winthrop Way, just around the corner, and I grew up here when there was 3 guys across the road. I also live here, so Mangere East will be my forever home since I'm just around the corner on that side. Professional background, I spent a lot of my professional career at the Ministry of Social Development before I moved predominantly in a leadership space. Before I moved over, I now am the manager of Mangere Town Centre. In those 2 roles alone, I was able to put my qualifications into good use. I hold a Bachelor of Commerce degree as well as a Master's of Public Management. My values was instilled to me by my parents, which is culture, faith, and also, that bell just... culture, faith, my faith and my family. That's it. My leadership, as a leader, it's really big for me to walk the talk. So I'm not just the voice. I can think strategically, I can voice it, but I can also deliver. You just got to go down to Mangere Town Centre and see what I've done. Malo.
Nice, Vicky. Ngā mihi nui ki a tātou katoa, ko Swanee Nelson mo karaka toku ingoa. Sorry, Mangere, I'm from Otara hard, but I'm standing for one of the 2 roles for Manukau City Councillor. A bit about my background, I've got an extensive work background. That comes from international aid and development, so community and youth development. I've worked in the film and television industry, education sector, public service sector, as well as a senior advisor for both MOE and MSD. I serve on one of the hardest governance roles. I'm a trustee on a Māori governance that looks after various papakainga and whenua up in the far north. That's harder than sitting at a governance table. If you've ever been to a hui at a marae, It's a lot more scarier. And also the former CEO and founder of a community trust that I established in Otara called the Community Builders NZ Trust. We have a number of kaupapa under there, one of them being the Otara Kai village and the town centre. And many of those pātakas you see even across Mangere, I'm the founder of that movement across Aotearoa as well. Alongside that, I sat on the MIT Runanga board as well, and I just resigned from that this year, just to get a bit of more balance. But I also served on the local board 2 terms, and I resigned actually in the last term a few months in because my daughters grew up in community and youth development, and they wanted more of their mum. So I made a decision to actually step away from politics for the last 3 years and serve my kids a bit more intentionally and help my husband with his health journey, and they are fully in the place where they need to be, and so that's why I'm back running again, so they can give my skills back to my community. Kia ora. Oh, sorry, my values are instilled in my faith as a Christian and my culture as a Māori. Aroha, manakitanga and equity, and kia ora.
I hope you can remember all this. It's like getting I don't know. Anyway, kia ora, I'm Peter Sykes. I guess I whakapapa to this area. I've been in Mangere East since 1990. Just across the park there is where my son's whenua is buried at Sauni Anglican Church. But previous to that, I taught at Mangere East Primary School and became a street youth worker in the 1980s back in Central Auckland. I guess my professional basis is that for most of my working career, 40 years, I was at Me Family Services in Ferguson Street, and that's early childhood, social services, education, taiao, working with waste, working with wellbeing, and helping community development. I'm currently chair of that group still. I'm chair of Me Family Mangere East Hawks, and I guess my values are based around making sure that I honour my tupuna and I honour my grandchildren. And I've always been taught as a community worker that you always sit with 7 generations around you, and that helps you make your decisions. So kia ora.
We'll start at the same time. Your time, my time.
Reset.
Oh, hold up.
Sorry, Harry.
Sweet Pali. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a real election going on, and it's called the New Zealand Bird of the Year. All right? And over 50,000 people actually voted for that bird. And you know what? If that bird actually stood in our local board elections, it would have just missed out. It got 6,000 votes, and the top 7 got 7,000. As of yesterday, we checked the actual roll. You know how many votes there were? You know how many votes were submitted? You've had your papers for a week. 25, ladies and gentlemen. I'm probably speaking to the 25 here. So for all our introductions and hard work, we're just talking to ourselves because no one is actually voting. So enough of this growling off. My name is Harry Whatitolefoa. I'm from the villages of Waingalu, and I also see my fellow Vaie person over here in Safaka. 3 kilometres from here, I actually work at a Mangere Community Law Centre as a legal educator. In my spare time, also teach over here at Mangere East. All those qualifications, whatever. Have a read. I got scared this morning, Bali. I actually got scared and I read my Bible. And if I want to talk about values, there was 3 that came up to me, right? Micah 6:8, the Lord talks to Micah, the prophet. What does the Lord require? Number 1, that someone acts justly. My values are about equity, actually ensuring that we advocate, that we get our fair share. 2 is to love mercy, to be compassionate, to have empathy with our community. 3rd is to walk humbly with our community. We don't have all the answers. We only got the ears to listen. Whaftai.
I apologise. I know it's really tough. Yeah, speed dating is really, really tough. But it's what we've got. And so I guess when you're sitting in government, that's all you have. So it's a good practice for us to get, it's that thing they say when you're if you get in a lift at Middlemore Hospital and there's Christopher Luxon in that lift, you've got between the ground floor and the 4th floor to tell them what's the best thing for Pacific and Māori people in this country. What would you say? So it's kind of like that, to get, how are people feeling so far? Yeah, there's a lot of information, eh? So we will have a break shortly. We're going to put the next question out next. But just for those people, how many people here were born in Mangere? Just put your hands up. Born in this space. Oh, good. There's a few. Okay, yeah. And a lot of us have moved in. I'm a Mangere boy too. My parents, we moved out here into Beta Drive and there was about 7 houses on Beta Drive. Way back then, yeah. And now it's got a whole super thing, yeah. And then we were in Beta Drive 45 years. I was born in Samoa. My mum's Samoan. My dad is normal. Yeah. So we came across here with that early flight of Pacific people to Aotearoa, New Zealand. And we, of course, moved in from Ponsonby out here to Mangere. So it's quite nice to hear how Mangere has grown. Peter Sykes has heard me say this before. I've been in Mangere so long, I am the mayor of Beta Drive. Yeah, cool. All right, folks, I'm going to give these people now their first question. I'm going to read it out, and you have a minute to answer that question. Again, should be really simple. Just, sound bites. All those people in media should know what a sound bite sounds like. So, if you've not read the question before, it's really simple. It says here, what 3 key issues will you champion for the Mangere-Otahuhu community if you're elected? What 3 key issues? We're going to start with Tolea 4 up that side because... Sorry, also, it's only 1 minute and you can do this. You can do this. Okay, so what 3?
It's my time, buddy. 3 key building blocks in any local board. Number 1 is a place to stay, right? But local board doesn't hold all the tools, but we can work with Kainga Audit to ensure that we have pathways to home ownership. There's over 30,000 homes coming in. The last thing we want is gentrification, so we need pathways to home ownership to ensure our people stay there. Secondly, we need a place to play, right? Playgrounds and amenities, libraries, they are the heart and soul, especially in times of austerity, right? Communities such as ours rely on these. So with the work of the current councillors, Alpha and that, we've got to ensure that we actually get those particular resources to be able to ensure that we resource correctly our amenities. And the last one is we need a place to work. Ladies and gentlemen, we are home to one of the biggest engine rooms here in Aotearoa, right? Gross domestic product, it actually outperforms every other local board bar one, right? And yet we haven't been able to leverage it. So we sit at the doorstep of the airport. We also sit at the doorstep of Middlemore. These are employment opportunities that we're able to leverage to ensure that everybody gets a slice of the wealth pie.
Nice, thank you.
I'm going to make mine shorter. I stand for people, the place, and us making decisions for the people that need the decisions made for, and they're part of that process. So those are the key things that I'll be looking for and advocating with.
Nice, thanks, Peter.
Cool. I like what Peter said, and I'm going to go with something similar. I don't even want to focus on the issues. One of the key things that I'm really passionate about and why I started up my charitable trust called the Community Builders NZ was because I already saw the civic disengagement from our community into council processes. So there's kind of no point for me in talking about what these issues are when our community can't even connect in and give their feedback when our council processes aren't working and going out in the way that they need to, so that all of our different communities are able to tap in and give their feedback, because at the end of the day, we have the vote when we're elected into these positions on your behalf. And if you're not connected into the community, or you're hearing just certain voices of the community, there's a whole group that's still missing that are not being fed in and giving their feedback. And one of the reasons I believe that is because of the way that council puts that information out. Who here actually follows the Auckland Council page and checks for all the submissions that come out? Put your hands up. That's pretty good. Most don't. Most of those are coming through there or through social media. Now, they've done a little bit of work over the past, I would say maybe a year or two. I've seen it because I've had to be actively involved in that process when I sat on local board. But there's so much work that needs to be done. I want our community to be more connected and involved and know what's going on so that we're advocating the right way, not just for Manukau City, for all of our regional areas as well. And that can only happen when you're more connected in. Cool.
I'm just going to keep it really, really short. My 3 priorities are youth, because youth engagement is really important to me. On this trail, I've I've realised that a lot of the youth are really disengaged or do not understand local elections, and we also got general elections coming around the corner. My second one is safety. I want to look at, I'm a dog owner, so I want to know why it's not safe for me to walk around my street and not be attacked by a stray dog. And lastly, I want to look at the illegal dumping stuff of rubbish. I've just taken over the town centre, so I've managed to clean up some of the illegal dumping that happened in those spaces that you may have seen in the media last year. So I want to look at why that's happening in all the other streets and all the other places around us, around our area. Malo.
Talofa everyone. My 3 points are avocation. I believe I've got the skill set to advocate for our community. Number 2, because only a minute. Number 2 is our youth. Ensuring that there's sports. Sports has been really good to our family. So I want to be able to support our sports groups from young to old. And lastly is safety. I've been blessed to be in safety the last 20 years with Malama Security. Thank you.
Hi fams, I'll keep my one brief as well. Number 1 is safety for me, advocate strongly for safety. Number 2 is advocate for our youth, especially our community groups that are located in Mangere as well. I'll continue to do that in our meetings as well. And I've got a few, but I think it's really important to look after our whenua as well, and I would advocate strongly to keep, our areas clean, especially our streams, but also, as our sisters touched on, as well as the rubbish as well. But priority for me is the health and well-being of our community, so I'll always advocate strongly for that as well. Thank you.
Kia ora tātou. This 1 minute speed dating is a really hard thing. Hey? I also forgot to mention in my first 1 minute that this is my first time standing, so I'm a first timer. So everything I'm going to kōrero about is going to be from my lived experience and what I see out in the community. So first is rough sleeping, because that wasn't a thing when I was a little girl here in the burbs, but man, it is bad now, and it's sad, and it shouldn't be like that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is rangatahi spaces, and particularly in Mangere, because I look at my own children who I reflect back to, and they kind of tell me what it is that they want to see as they get a little bit older. So I want some cool spaces for them that will help them out as they grow older and become teens. And then number 3, honestly, safety as well. I just want to talk what the others say as well. That's a real kind of common theme out in the hood. And also too, just I guess protecting our environment, protecting our wahi taonga, protecting our wahi tapu. Kia ora, that's my priorities. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Cara Lavo, and I'm running for the Manukau ward. And it's really important to understand that the reason I'm running for that is because I want our community to be heard. I've been out there talking to our community, and they've told me they're just trying to survive. One of our issues is just trying to survive. At Auckland City Council, they're making all these decisions. They've got projects. They want to raise all our rates. I'm for lowering our rates. They want to make sure that they can get all their projects across. They want to cut our local board. Our local board are not funded the same. If you look at the community over there and you look at our community, they're not the same. We're one Auckland City, but our resourcing is not the same. So I'm here to tell you that I'm going to go there, and the issues that are brought to me, because I'm listening to the community, and they're telling me these are the things that are important to them. And when you tell me what's important, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to get it resourced. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Could you all I'm going to read our priorities are here on the pamphlet that's on your seats if you wanted to have a look at that. There's a whole list there, but my 3 is because I work with youth and I see them every day, if not face to face, through texts, early in the morning, late at night, and I want to make sure that their voices are heard, that there are options and opportunities for them that can help them get further in the future. I want to make sure that we here in Mangere-Otahuhu have that decisions are made fair and equitably for us, and if the local board is living here in Mangere and working in here, we can speak and advocate for our people well. And the last one is that everyone can enjoy top quality community facilities such as parks and services, because I know that for sure for our youth, the number 1 barrier for them into getting into training or into jobs is mental health. And so maintaining a high standard of parks, pools, libraries and recreation centres helps with their well-being.
Thank you. Malolele. My three priorities are to continue, advocate, and working together with our mana whenua, and also space for youth. And we do have a lot of youth around Mangere and Otahuhu. I'll advocate on behalf of youth to have a youth hub. And also safety is my other priority. That we're looking for the safety of the community. Thank you.
Kia ora again, anō. I completely agree with the people who have said that the big issues that we have all the time, we talk housing, health, cost of living. So within our toolkit, one of my commitments is to do whatever we can to stretch our dollars as far as we can to make sure that our families here have access to free exercise, supporting their well-being, and so on. This has been covered. I think there are big cuts coming. The next term, whoever's elected is going to have to find $1 million of savings somehow in the budget. We've just had an Auckland transport legislation thrown at us. We're going to have to work out how to make that work. Local boards are going to take on, allegedly, if the legislation passes, speed limits, pedestrian crossings. Where's the staff? Where's the resources? I want to finish a couple of projects. If I get elected, it's my last term, including the main street of Otahuhu, which got halfway up and everybody walked away. So I want to finish that. And lastly, arts and culture. That's my big one. This is a hugely, hugely talented area. It's one of the most diverse in the country. We have skills and talents I like to lift up. It helps us understand each other, helps young and old feel less lonely, and it offers economic opportunities as well. So I think we should leverage as much as we can from our arts centre, from the creatives in the community, by lifting them up. Kia ora.
Kia ora. My first one is ensuring that mana whenua voices are heard. I'm a strong believer that Te Ao Māori is the lead for what we do in Mangere-Otahuhu. And that's my first one. Secondly, green spaces, parks. With all the houses that are getting built, our green spaces are slowly disappearing. And so those green spaces and those quality parks are vital for our rangatahi and for our community. And lastly, keeping our swimming pools and libraries free. That is the key. Thank you.
Hey, while growing up as a youth and as 16 years old, I kind of feel there are similar issues that are still present, and that's fear out in public streets. Also, what we've learned, we've listened to the youth in our first meeting, and having a place for the youth to come together. I used to work at Strive, and we had a drop-in center at Southern Cross campus, open from 3 till 9 o'clock every evening, had social workers, educators, a lot of teachers, and it was a very safe space. So I feel a safe space for youth to be out, to feel like they can really take it on the world and have no fear. And lastly, having clean streets as well. My sister nominated me for an award at Otahuhu College for picking up rubbish when I was in high school, and I've lived in Hong Kong, it's dirty there. Here, we've got so much cleanliness, and I just wish we all would take care of our streets a lot better, so that would be my last priority. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My three issues are quite different from what my colleagues have said so far. Number one is the grounds which we have got here, the playgrounds. They don't have basic facilities like toilets and other facilities. And the parents and those who are playing there, they don't get like toilets. If they want to go to toilet, they have to see the tree or any other places. Number two is people who are begging on the roads. I mean, those who are homeless, they need homes, they need shelter. I mean, they've got a similar right, which we have got it. And being a citizen of this country, they've got right to live with respect and dignity. I mean, we don't. I mean, people I've seen. I mean, they don't care about them, but they are people. And number three is that the bills are going up and up, never come back. So at least water bills should cut down to 50%. I mean, this is what I'm trying to. Thank you very much.
Climate change is real. So it's been advocacy around that 21 that sit around the governing body table. It's real. So that's one thing I'll be pushing again, is to continue with the targeted environmental rate. The other one is infrastructure. Without infrastructure, we saw what happened in 2023. So without infrastructure, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be worse. That's why there was $50 million in advocacy that Lotu and I ended up around that governing body table. $50 million for Te Rarata and Haranea. That is what's happening now. The last one for me is Māori wards. I've advocated for Māori wards for many, many years, but there's 21 people around the governing body table. You have to convince at least 11, that includes the mayor. At the moment, the mayor does not want Māori wards. He's made that clear, and so that's what I'll be pushing. Kia ora.
Yeah, hang on to it, Alf, because you'll be next on the next ring. Well, that was fantastic. I think those, and it doesn't matter if people repeat. It just tells us how important those particular things are. Because this next question that I'm going to ask is the question around safety. A number of people have answered some safety things, but the question's about what practical thing can we do? And I guess we could all answer similarly, but what we need to do today to help us understand your position is there's governance and there's operational. What will be the practical things as we look at you guys represented? I was thinking before, with all the skill and talent here, these guys could run a whole government, hey? Hey, you think about it, we've got lawyers, we've got cleaners, we've got lawyers, we've got counsellors, we've got a number of people in between, we've got nurses, hey, some really skilled people here that could probably run a whole country. And so we kind of, where we want to pitch our tent is behind these people when they pitch for us and advocate at the places of governance for us. So that's the question, people. And after this question, we're going to have a break so we can go and sort of get some more refreshments. And we'll come back for 2 more questions. And that's it for the night. Cool, eh? We can be back and watch some more sports and TV and love story, whatever that you want. So let me get the question straight here. So the question says, what is one practical step you'll take to improve safety? So it's a practical step. Are we good to go? I forgot to do this, to welcome those on live stream, all of those way over in the United Kingdom, and those way over in Japan, and those in North Shore. Welcome to our live stream. Okay. Thanks, Alf. So one practical step that you think would help safety. So think about, a lot of our young people are here, the safety about our spaces and all that, get our minds working. Alf, this is your life.
Practical step would be funding. As Luke said, he ended up basically looking after the Pacifica Regional Wardens, and the funding came straight to him for his role, and then he ended up supporting that particular role with our regional Pacific Wardens by using his own money. So I acknowledge your work, Luke, but like I said, what had happened was the funding then went for him for his position. So funding, that's one practical. You have to, because money talks. So that's what I say.
Yes, I do agree with them that money is important, but what is more important is the patrolling. If you have heard the news, in Papatoito, so many businessmen, they were assaulted, and some were seriously assaulted and had a head fracture. So we need more patrolling and more police officers on the road, and not just going in their cars. This is what my view is. Thank you.
Yeah, when I think what we need is that we need people who are positive out there and out on the streets and all the public places, whether that be what Alf said and what Luke's done is having wardens out there. When we look at someone we don't know, sometimes we don't even make eye contact. There's a bit of fear. But if we have someone that are positive people and maybe easily labeled, like in the city they had wardens for many years and ambassadors, and that really worked well with people who are lost in the city. So yeah, just having positive people. If not, it would be me. And I take my kids with me wherever I go, and they're not afraid because I know that their dad's not afraid. And we need goodness in bad people's lives, and they don't even know that, but they need good people. So we need to be out there as well. That's all. Thank you.
advocating for our community, listening to the voice of our community and advocating. It's a huge job to get to the governing body, to get them approved, but listening and taking the message from our community to the governing body, that's key for me. And advocating is huge for our community because that is vital, that the governing body hear our voices from our community ground roots. Thank you.
Kia ora. We do already spend quite a lot of money on safety through our business associations and through other work programming. But a big thing for me is actually making sure that the spaces and the facilities that we have control over are safe in themselves. Because there's research that shows that if a community can talk to each other, can understand each other, can feel safe going out and about, have safe places to meet, that builds community resilience. People start looking after each other. More people will start volunteering for neighbourhood watch and community patrols, and it just builds out from there. So I think it's creating the base and the spaces that we have where people can meet each other, look each other in the eye, understand who each other are, and then keep each other safe. Cheers.
Thank you. I think holistic program to help family, the parents and the children. Also, I'm looking at the apprenticeship as well. We have to bring the apprenticeship back so we can educate and training our young people so they can get paid from the training. So apprenticeship is a focus for me, as well as a holistic view from the parents, as well as a collective families. Thank you.
When I was growing up, I was in a street where Neighbourhood Watch was really active, and I heard Christine mention that, and so maybe there's still a few streets that do that, but I would want to see the whole of Mangere and Otahuhu have Neighbourhood Watch, so that, just like my colleagues have said, talking to each other, get to know our neighbours, so that we know each other and that we can say hello each day and show kindness. Thank you.
One practical step that I can take is I can utilise the skills that I have to impact the people who hold the resources. And I can work with them to be collaborative so that they can bring that funding into our community. I believe that our community is already trying to provide a safe community, safe spaces. But we're so underfunded. We're under-resourced. So the practical step I'm going to take is I'm going to utilise my skills to work with those people so that we can get better outcomes. Thank you. Oh, that way.
Kia ora. It'd be really nice to get back to that old school vibe of like your kids and my kids, that kind of community vibes, because that's kind of how it used to be when I was little. You could just go off to anyone's house and it's all good. It isn't so much like that anymore, but honestly, you could say you need funding for lighting, you need funding for whatever. Yes, but there's probably just a band-aid solution to another core problem underneath. I think this is like a community issue which kind of needs a community to come together and wānanga on it. We've got amazing leaders in our community, really amazing leaders, and I'd love to hear from them in that kind of forum on what their thoughts are and how we could maybe improve what the community is like above and beyond having, neighbourhood support. So, that's my whakaaro on this one.
Hi team, I know it's one thing, but I think of two things. Number one is the importance of advocacy when you're in this role. It's so important that you fight hard for our community in terms of infrastructure, in terms of funding. That's very core. One of the core things I think is really important, advocacy. Number two is around education, how important it is to educate, but also raise awareness around how to lodge jobs. If you look at the Centre Park, you'll see there's a fence now around it. That's one thing our local board actually advocated for. Because I was there when my daughter and my son was playing rugby league for the Pacific Games, and we had lots of bikers on there. And one of the important steps was for our local board was to advocate to reduce, I guess, to increase safety. And that's why you see that bollard, those fences around. But also, you know, there's so many things that we've pushed for within our time, but those would be probably the main two things. So it empowers our community to understand and know how to lodge jobs, but also connect. And I think it's really important for us to be visible as well. Visible, so you know who we are, you know who to tap into to advocate all those concerns around safety. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And just acknowledging Alf for supporting and advocating for our Pacific Wardens. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but we have Mangere-Otahuhu, our Pacific Wardens that secure our streets through Mangere East and in Mangere Town Centre. They're one of 7 groups across from North Shore to Otara Papali'i, but also then Tokoro as well. Safety, my one's probably free. It's environmental security, making sure that connection, that part of environmental security, if there's lights out, making sure that our people have a connection to connect who can put those lights back on. If there's people speeding, again, environmental security. Who can we connect to ensure that the speed bumps put in place? But, yep, that's me. Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm with him, so we're a package. But one thing that I will be looking at is assessing it in its current form, right? Like I want to look at the structure. I want to look at what's the budget, what's the funding, who holds those contracts, and also have a look at it and stretching that dollar. As I said, I came from the Ministry of Social Development. We take your taxes and we make sure that we have to stretch it, even though we are under resourced, but we have to make it work. If I think about if it's something so simple like patrolling, bid managers, so myself, Otahuhu bid manager and Mangere Bridge, we did this thing where we contracted Me Alamu Security, and they do patrols over the 3 areas overnight. So by default, anyone in that vicinity of that triangle that I'm talking about, you get a free patrol along the way. So we'll be looking at assessing that kind of thinking and bringing that into how does that work in safety. Malo.
Awesome. So if you're elected onto the role of a local board or a councillor, in that role, what you can do is ensure that when you get to divvy out that budget, that you're targeting it to the right places to support the things that need to be done. So like investment into security cameras, you know, if they need it for town centres, things like that, increased lighting in certain areas where there may not be good lighting and it's needed. From a grassroots level, practical level, so I'm the founder of the NZ Street movement. It's one of the most mobilised street networks in the Otara Papali'i local board, and it's one of the only and main neighbourhood movements that is used and supported by the Otara Papali'i local board because it's so well connected and mobilised. I believe that we can do all these things, but the core part missing is community, bringing community on board. And if we can put more investment or support groups to collaborate and support the growing of, I guess it used to be called Neighbourhood Watch, but we did our own twist and created a Southside version, which I think is a little bit better than Neighbourhood Watch, because what we do is we actually set up resource sheds in communities which has everything that a neighbour would need to go out and activate their streets. And we have that in Otara. So our residents actually have access to this. It's housed in the community house. And they also have a My Street van, so neighbours or street leaders can actually come and get that van, load it up with activations and activate and do the things that they need. That, in collaboration with the decisions we need to make in our governance roles, will make for improved safety right across the board of our communities. And I hope we can duplicate this in Mangere-Otahuhu and other communities as well. Kia ora.
I've struggled with this question because when we talk about safety, are we talking about physical safety, emotional safety, whatever? The thing, I work with a lot of diversity, and for me, safety is about creating a better understanding of how each of us can be fully ourselves and different. And so I guess what I would do is employ Harry to go and do work around civic education. It's teaching us how to be community again. It's the same thing that Swanee's talking about. And we remove the fear of each of us being ourselves, and we know our neighbours. One of the things I hope is I'm not scared of anyone here, but then I don't know anyone here. Well, no, some of you I know, but anyway. So it's about actually feeling safe to be myself and understanding your right to be yourself.
Thanks, and everyone's covered it here. I've got nothing left, Bali, but no, but yeah, dig a bit deeper, ladies and gentlemen. Bali and I used to run some training around this. Is actual unconscious bias. When someone stands in front of you, your mind has already made up a conclusion about them in 1 second. Even before 1 second is made up in mind, we determine, is this person safe or is this person not? At a fundamental level, all the stuff, right, can be actually solved if we, number one, actually build relationships with one another. That's how you counter unconscious bias. That's how you actually create safety, right? They say safety is not the absence of a threat, it is the presence of connection. What does that mean? It just means get to know your neighbour. Get to go back to what Sarah pointed out, knowing your neighbour, because safety is not a thing that we leave at the feet of the police, at the feet of council. It is a community responsibility, right? Safety is also tied into the liquor store. Safety is also tied into emotional well-being. My wife is here. She's a family lawyer. When the All Blacks lose or when the Warriors lose, you can guarantee on Monday family violence. The amount of people who are waiting to be charged or processed on Monday, right, is through the roof. Safety is a community responsibility. And like Makalita said, it starts with our homes. We have to strengthen our families. We know we don't hold all the tools, but it is a collective responsibility. It's not at the feet of the people up here, but in the hands of everybody together.
When Harry was speaking, my phone was going crazy. Fabulous points, though, when you think about each individual. I know it's cramming it in, but it's just about taking what's important for you. I see a lot of young people here. We're going to take a bit of time now to get sort of refreshed and walk around. People need to go to the bathroom, which is just out there on the left. But one thing that I think we've got an opportunity to do is is allow the young people that are here to ask a couple of questions when we come back. That'll give you a bit of time to think about the question, because there's a few here, because we are thinking about, the future of Mangere and the future of the community, and these people, again, they are supporting young people as we go, but it'd be quite nice just to hear one of your voices when we come back from our break. Now, our break's only going to be 5 minutes, because I know what it's like out here. You get 5 minutes and 15 minutes later you all come back. So 5 minutes, you'll hear me ringing the bell and we'll come back, and we only have 2 more questions to finish, and then hopefully our group will be back here and all energized and fired up. Thank you so much. We'll see you back in 5 minutes.
Never sleep, I'm in the street, yeah. Cause the money in the dark, so I gotta keep going. With my smile and my happiness, until you take my way. The darkness and when you got me without you, when you without you, my heart is black and blue until you take my rescue. Bless you, I hope you never let me. You're the best thing in the blessing. The only time when I let me stay. The best thing is down and I'm tonight. My God, something a little bit for me. I just come to bed for me. It's a little Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, team, can we just come back to order again so we can finalize our night? Well done, Peter. You did really well. 1 or 2 minutes, but you did fantastic.
Okay, folks, this is the hardest part of the evening. We're starting in about 1 minute. 1 minute. I know it gets really wild down here.
We've got 1 minute. Thank you, Peter. Who else is outstanding? Thank you, Manoj. Thank you. Thank you to my good friend, comedian, Mr. Tolefoa, Who else is still out here? Peter's still out here. Where's Tale? Tale's here. Good, good, good. Oh, you guys are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. We haven't lost anybody in our public. Now, I think Sabrina's been around asking our youth for any questions, but I'll pick on that up a little bit later. So a couple of things happened over that break, candidates. One of them was some people are not quite sure whether you're in the ward. There's a bit of confusion. And so the first question that we asked you was to kind of answer that. Well, if you haven't answered that correctly, we're going to give you another opportunity to do that. That makes sense, eh? Then you know who's going for council, who's going for ward, etc., etc. So there's really two questions that's left. And the first question relates to the role again. But the last question is about why should we vote for you? So during that time, that's when you can say whereabouts you are in that continuum, whether you're on the ward or you're council, etc., etc. Okay? Is it? Yes, sir.
Because you added it in, do we get an extra 30 seconds?
Look, I'm a kind Samoan, unlike the other Samoans you meet in Mangere Town Centre. Maybe we could allow that 30-second, Alf. Thank you for asking. Because, we're family friendly, eh? Yeah. Okay.
In that 30 seconds, can they also tell us what parties they're standing for?
Yes.
Where they stand?
Yes.
So independent ain't a good enough answer.
Yes. Okay. Does that make sense? So on your final question, I think the final question says, why should we vote for you? And you put all your bits in there. Some of you already answered it, actually, when you stood up in your first bit. You didn't even talk about values. I don't know why you lost that in the conversation anyway. So the two questions, one is relating to the work, and the last question is, why should we vote for you? You add all the things that people are asking for into that. Make sense? And that's when you get your 1 minute, 30 seconds. Is that okay? You're looking at me really puzzled. You all right? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just so that I can see in the room, we had a bit of a break. So let me just cue up my my 30-second. Bell's working. Okay, the first of your two questions this evening is this one. What two measures will you take to keep your promise and stay accountable to the community? Is that okay? Once more. What two measures will you take to keep your promises and stay accountable to the community? All right. There's only Luke. There's only two. This is the first question, and all you're doing is answering just that. What two measures? Okay, not two questions. What two measures will you take to keep your promise and stay accountable to the community? So, I think the other thing is, how will we know you're telling the truth? Hey, okay, shall we start? Where did we start before?
Well,
that end, shall we start?
In the middle, but your MC.
Shall we start with Tale in the middle? Yeah? Yeah, because start with the good-looking Samoans. Okay, we're going to start with the good-looking Samoan. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. This is Tale. Come on.
Okay, so two measures that I will put in place is that I will be present and that I am approachable for people to come and meet with me to talk about issues that matter to them, and also just to talk with our people. I am in the community talking to our youth and their families every day, so they can come. They know they can come to me and tell me what's on their mind. Thank you.
So, two things. First thing is I commit to attending the month meeting and ensuring that I'm available to everybody at that monthly meeting because they have an open forum for the community to speak at. So that's one. And the second measure, which is even worse, I come from a Samoan family. So I have brothers and sisters, and let me tell you this, you think your huis are bad? When you've got pastors and you've got lawyers and you've got executives in your family who all went to university in one room, they're going to keep me accountable. So that's the other. So those are my two, my family and friends, and coming to the meetings.
Yeah, kia ora. Two things, I think, for me. The first thing is just making sure, like, you're kanohi kitea, that you're seen always in the community. It's no good just hiding in, like, you know, a board office or in a big room, do it once a month. Maybe people turn up, maybe they don't. Maybe we'll talk a whole lot of big words. Maybe it'll be 60 pages. Like, no one has time for that. So it's important for us to come to you and hear what you are thinking and feeling in all the spaces that you may be, whether that's community gardens or schools or exhibitions or in the community halls or in the marae or in the churches. So that's number one. The second thing I think is just comms, you know, like, how do you know what I'm doing? Was I successful? Was I not? And if I wasn't, what happened? What was the outcome? I think comms, regular comms, will keep me accountable to you, and then you can ask the questions. Kia ora.
Sure, team. Just two things. Number one is visibility. That's really important to me, and engaging with our communities. Number two is, I guess, tough one to swallow, but just accepting that you get it wrong and being accountable for that and fronting up and facing that. I think that's really, really important as an elected member, just to own up. Take ownership of it. Hey, we don't always get it right. Our hand on heart, we don't always get it right. But I guess the important thing is to own up to it and then to get it fixed straight away. Don't leave it really late. Those are my two. Thanks, team.
Thank you. Probably our first one's avocation. I currently advocate for through my businesses. And secondly, is to continue to be present in our community. I've been really blessed to be in the sports affiliated to a rugby club in South Auckland the last 28 years, so I'll continue to be present. Thank you.
Two things for me is I want to deliver. So I want to go to that councillor governing body. I want to be the voice advocate, but I also want to come back with some dubs, and that's for all the youth that are watching, and for the older ones over here, that means winning. Secondly, I also, the other thing is that the thing about being the Mangere Town Centre manager is that you will always find me. So if I'm not delivering what I said I will do, you know where to find me, and I can't hide from you all. So thank you, and I will show up, malo.
Kia ora. One, go chat GPT my name. Who is Swanee Nelson and what has she done? And you'll find a lot of really good information on there in Google about me that talks to my integrity, the work that I've done, my experience in the sector, but also my heart. You should see my heart through chat GPT because it's pretty good at getting that info back. Number two, one of the things that I did quite a few years ago, even before I got into local body government, is I'd set up a number of community pages across Manukau City. I'm actually the founder of quite a few that have thousands of residents in these pages. And I did that because I wanted communities to be more connected and get information out to them. And so when I got onto the local board, what I wanted to do is, like, when we went to meetings, I noticed that people weren't coming to these, and I knew people aren't going to go on and read the minutes on the local board, on the Auckland Council website. So I used to take that information, break it down in like easier jargon, and regurgitate it back out to communities. And that's something that I would recommit to doing, because that's an important part of my values, and the key things that I want to do is ensure that we break down the jargon and information and get it out through those platforms and more. Kia ora.
Part of the reality therapy is that councillors is a full-time job. The chairperson of the local board is a full-time job. Local board members are a part-time job. And so the reality is that the question is about my personal accountability, and I think that's about being present in the community myself. David Longi was an amazing leader for Mangere, and one of the things that he did was that he set up at a cafe once a week. People knew where he was going to be, and he would just have a coffee with anybody. I'd like to be able to try that. But I think one of the major issues is about just going around and visiting people. I'm fortunate that I use the word retired. I'm not employed, I'm a pensioner. And so I've got time to not only do the local board work, but actually go and be part of the groups and understand the groups. And I guess, like Swanee said, keep breaking down the information. Kia ora.
Nice, Peter.
Yeah, I'll totally echo the sentiments that expressed around breaking down information, demystifying what local government does, and connecting with people. There's two major measures that I want to be held accountable for. One, Christine O'Brien touched on. In financial year 26-27, the local board receives roughly 27 million a year on operating costs, 9 million on capital. And in year 26-27, we are losing $1 million. We got to navigate how we're going to plug this $1 million. And to put it in practical terms, if we were to close the Mangere Library for 1 year, we would make that $1 million. Or we could implement a $50 targeted rate, works around 90 cents a week, and we'll be able to ensure that we keep our levels of services. Right? The second measure, right? So how are we going to plug that $1 million gap? The second measure is that we've got assets that equal up to, that require a budget of 122 million over 10 years. Right? We only have 87 million in our purses or in our envelopes to be able to service that shortfall, or to service that. So we got to figure out where we're going to find this $33 million, right? And there's 4 levers that council can use. Number 1, we can raise rates. Number 2, we can sell off assets. Number 3, we can operate, or we can, reduce costs or reduce operations. And the 4th one is that we can look to actually recycle assets. I want to be held by those 2 things. Hey, that's the 2 things that I want to be measured by. I'm not scared of it. But the reality is I am accountable to you. I will listen to you. We will walk together, and we've got to figure out a solution. The solutions lie within the community. So over the next 3 to 6 years, we look forward to hearing what the community says and how we're going to navigate those challenges.
Thank you. I think attendance in the meetings is very important. I will say I probably attended 90% of the meetings, and I accountable to the people of this area. Also, engage when you are attended our meetings. Also, attend on the weekend. We don't have Saturdays with our family. We have Saturdays with the community, because they're either community events or community meetings. We have to be there. And that is how we, as a local board, we attended. And that is how we engage with our community. Thank you. I also, we do, you can access to us in our website. That we have a website that you can see who is talking, who is participating, and who is in the local board. That's in our website. Website you can access to our work in the Mangere-Otahuhu localboard.org. Thank you.
Kia ora. Just to raise the question of how can you tell whether we're lying, we're on YouTube. So all of our workshop meetings now are recorded, and they're all there for the public, so you don't have to trawl through the written minutes. You can just jump online and watch. Also, in the written minutes of the business meetings, everybody's meetings, selected meetings that they've held in the previous month are all there and logged in the record. Personally, I run a community clinic every second Monday, except in school time, conjointly with the MP clinic over in Otahuhu, so anyone can come and see me at the community centre every second Monday, 9:30 to 11:30. And the other thing is, I'm quite old school. I kind of have a round. So at the weekends, I go around the sports clubs. During the week, I go to as many community hui as I can get to, given that I also work part-time elsewhere. But what I've realised just in recent weeks is I actually need to refresh my round, and I'm really happy to commit to do that and to make sure that I'm being even more inclusive and take that whole round of catching up with the community groups, the sports clubs and so on, out a ring further. Kia ora.
My first one is being accessible. Being accessible, that we, when we are called, me personally, I would like to return that call or get reply before the day's out. that's my commitment to the community, being accessible at any time. And secondly, being able to be invited to events and activities that our community, to be seen and to be visible. Kia ora.
Well, first of all, we need to be the ones that are observing your need before you even are aware of it. Secondly, I thought the internet and social media was a good way to connect with others without leaving your safe home. Like if you hear a disturbance in the driveway at night, you can message someone in your community. And I created a community group. It's got over 10,000 people, and we're doing so much every single day. And really, it's about collaboration, and I've been talking to Mangere 275, and also there's some community groups out in Otahuhu, and also what Sauni's made. So there's an online community, but the best thing from that online community is when you make a face-to-face connection, and that's how you create the online stuff to become real stuff. And I've been doing it for so long. People reach me all the time. Had a break-in. I'm trying to help a family with 7 kids under 10 get 6 beds, and that kind of almost stopped me from coming tonight. But there's needs everywhere, and you just need to go seek them, and you'll find them.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. To me, there are 2 points. One is commitment, and the other one is advocacy. Commitment is we have to give time to the community because we are liable to. And mine one is I always go. On Saturdays, I'm in the Mangere Town Centre. So I spend time there with the people whom I know. And the biggest thing is that what the people say, you need to advocate with the council. If you can't do that, then there's no use, listening to the people. You have to listen, you have to note it down, and then you have to take up with the council. This is what my view is. Thank you.
Firstly, I'm going to speak on behalf of Lotu as well, because as I said, she's not here because she went to our Otara Papatoetoe local board because one of the members is not standing. So she asked me to represent us. Lotu loves Facebook. Lotu loves social media, and that's one mechanism she uses. I don't like social media. I really don't. There's just too much rubbish on there sometimes. So I don't, but my details have always been accessible to the community. And I know they're accessing it because I'm getting emails, I'm getting telephone calls. That will continue. The other one, before I finish in about 25 seconds, is that the conduit for me are the 2 local boards. That's my conduit as a councillor sitting around that governing body table. I go to the meetings there to update them, and they are the ones that end up coming back to me. So that's my conduit to the community, and that will continue. Kia ora.
Shall I just cut the ward and the council thing short? All of those that are candidates on the Manukau ward, would you mind standing? Okay, so you've seen them. So that means the rest who are sitting down are the Mangere-Otahuhu local board.
There's also people for 2 positions, so you might get them to stand.
Oh yeah, so those who are in the board then, could you stand? Wow. Okay. Does that help? Yeah, that helps. Remember their faces, yeah? Remember their names. Cool. Okay, so sorry, was there a question? Yes, there are. There are a few names that are not here. Where's Sabrina? Should they be read out or made available? Huh? Yes, so Lotu is mentioned here, who is not here tonight. We also have Henrietta? Yes, Henrietta Devoe is not present. We also have Sarah. Oh, no, Sarah's here. Sarah Rihanna. Tell him that's okay. Just checking you were awake, you see. Honestly. Family friendly.
Christopher Stephen Hughes.
Yeah.
And then we also have Bill, Fetau Lafu Bill. Those would be the only three that are not here today. Bill is a surname. Bill is a surname. Yeah? Yeah, and Hughes, Christopher Stephen Hughes. Hughes is a surname. That's the other candidate that's not here. And DeVoe is a surname for the other candidate, first name Henrietta. So those three are not here.
Cool. Right. I'm looking at the time. We're supposed to have been finished by now, which puts the pressure on you because we've got one more question. So one more question. Are you okay for just one more round? This is the best round, okay? It's the last question, but it's the best question. It's a really simple question. Some of you have already answered it, so I'm just going to repeat the question. Why should Mangere-Otahuhu place their trust and vote in you? Easy, eh? You got that? Why should the vote be trusted in you? So I think what we'll do is we'll start with Makalita and work this way. And then we can go back to that side because we must feature good-looking Tongan women too, not just Samoan ones. Okay, otherwise there'll be a fight. Okay, so simple question, and you have, again, just a minute to answer that question. Thank you.
Malo Alpito Fale. Can I just read? It's yeah. I'm standing for re-election to continue the work I'm deeply passionate about, building a stronger, safer and more connected community. I'm an advocate for a better future for all, from our rangatahi to our kaumātua, from the homeless to hard-working small businesses owners. I believe in creating opportunities that help everyone in the community, and I will continue to stand up for youth development, local jobs, safer streets, and strong support to our local business, Mangere-Otahuhu, who deserve a leadership team like us. So that's why I'm here tonight to ask for your support. I think I got skills. I'm very humble. So I got that knowledge to continue the work that the current local board is standing for. Thank you for having me tonight. Malo Aubito. Makalita Kolo. Oh, sorry, I'm standing for Labour Party here.
Kia ora, Christine O'Brien. I'm standing again for the Mangere-Otahuhu local board on the Labour ticket. And I'd ask to give me your vote because I believe I've got the experience and the track record of getting wins for our community. I'm the only person from Otahuhu, and it's really important to me that Otahuhu has a voice at the table. I've got a few things I would like to finish, which include the Otahuhu Main Street. A number of us committed to phase 2 of the David Longy Park, and there are a number of other community projects that we would like to see finished. So I'm saying vote for me, but it feels uncomfortable. I'm standing on a ticket, and I really encourage you to vote for our ticket because I believe between the 7 of us, we actually have all of the skills and experience, governance, management, community engagement, qualifications that you need to make sure that we get the best deal for Mangere-Otahuhu in the coming term, which is going to be really tough. Kia ora.
Nice. It's a nice way to introduce yourself as well, so maybe everyone else should follow. Thanks, Walter.
Kia ora. Again, Walter, with the Labour ticket. The reason why I'm standing, I've been on the board this is my 4th term, 12 years plus, And I'm passionate about Mangere. I schooled in Ngā Tapuai. I worked in counties Manukau, and I continue to aspire our rangatahi to achieve what they have. So that's why I'm standing. The values that I bring are from my late mother, and that's to ensure that we as a community thrive together. And that's my passion for Mangere-Otahuhu. Kia ora.
Thanks, everyone. I just want to say we've got such a great resource here, and whoever wins, we're not going to be lacking. So congratulations all in the future. I'm with communities and residents, but I'm not a guy who loves politics. I'm a guy who loves relationships, and I think that's the reason that I've become so good so far. AT are now calling me, and they're telling me, where are you not on the table of decision making? Really, it's just about loving your neighbor and loving God. And those are the two laws that my whole life wraps around, and that's what I believe politics should wrap around as well. So yeah, it's all about God and it's all about each other. Thanks.
Kia ora. My name is Manoj, and I'm for Mangere and Otahuhu Ward. It's been 18 years I've been working with the union and with the New Zealand bus. If you look at the New Zealand bus drivers' conditions, they are the best in New Zealand. They are getting well paid. Their wages are high. Like if you compare with any other companies, they are getting best wages. Number two is the working conditions which they are in. They are getting overtime. They are getting pool tables. They are getting restrooms. Everything they have got it because of the union, because of us working with them. And number two is that if you have heard about that news, in 25th of May, there was a bus fire. The bus caught fire in Epsom. And I was the one who was driving that bus. There were 16 people inside the bus. As soon as I saw the fire, I stopped the bus. I took everyone off the bus. I had one of the passengers who was on wheelchair, so I have to took out the ramp, and then I took everyone at a safe place. And then I called the fire brigade. By the time fire brigade came, the bus was all destroyed. The blades were up the roof, but somehow they control it. So I was praised by the New Zealand Herald and the One News. In fact, my company also recommended for a reward. So I've done a lot of work there, and now I'm committed to do something for my community. That's why I'm here. Please vote. Thank you.
Kia ora again, Alf. I'm going to speak on Lotu's behalf as well. Lotu and I are standing under the Labour ticket. We have delivered. And the reason I say we have delivered, even with the late Whanana Fessel Collins, we delivered. Why? How? Williams Park. There was about $1.5 million put into Williams Park for the grounds, and we talk about sports field. Moyle Park. We had about $1.5 million, $2 million for Moore Park. We ended up putting some money into, and again about $1 million, Centre Park. And don't forget, the Manukau ward has got 2 local boards. The other place as well, and I need to go to Otara Papatoito, is Scorpions, who end up winning the Shaman Cup, and same with the reserve side. That money ended up going in, advocating for that club room. The Ngāti Otara, Marae, same thing. So what I'm saying is that I have a history, Lotu has a history, and we're saying both together that the vote is for Filipaina and fully, or fully and Filipaina, because I know that Lotu will be watching the YouTube. Kia ora. Harry?
Carolyn, across to Harry.
Hello.
Oh, Tali.
Okay, my name is Tale Solomon Moore and I'm running under the Labour ticket and encouraging you all to vote for me and my team. And the reason why is because I've had 35 years of experience in working in the community. And in those 35 years, we've helped thousands of young people progress and do well. One example is a young woman who came to us when she was 13 years old, expelled from school or discontinued. Met her not so long ago, a 35-year-old woman now with 2 children, and she had said that she was just about to graduate with her social work degree. And she said her daughter is not like her, and we said, that's because you're a good mother. So you vote for me, for someone who cares for the community, who's in touch with the community, and who hears the voices and does something about it. Thank you.
My name is Carol Avoa, and I'm running for the Manukau ward. I stand here as a resident of this community. I don't belong to a party because the only person I'm accountable to is our community. I will listen to what our community wants, and that's what I'm going to advocate for. I stand here because it's time for change, people. Like I said, we are under-resourced. Our community puts in a lot of money into the Auckland City, but we are not resourced. We shouldn't be talking about cutting. We're putting more money into the Auckland City, and they want to cut. We need people to stand up and say, our leadership's not working. And you know why they're not working? Because they're allowing people to cut. You walk around our neighborhoods. I'm sick of it. If you're sick of it, knowing that we deserve more, vote for me, because I'm going to war. I'm going to be at that decision-making table, and I'm going to tell them, our community is going to say no more. We deserve to have the same parks, the same resources as Auckland Central. Our toilets are like prison toilets. I don't blame our community. We get crumbs. We put so much money into this city, but our city does not value us. It's time for them to value us. It's time for them to show us that we are people that are equal to the people who live on the other side. I stand here as a resident, not affiliated, just somebody who cares about this community. I'm new, I'm fresh, and I'm ready to go to war. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou. Why vote for me? Well, I guess, honestly, there's lots of generations of blood, sweat, love and tears in these suburbs. And I'm running for Mangere-Otahuhu local board, and I am an independent. And the reason for that is because I did put myself in late, because it took a whole lot to put my big girl pants on and think I could jump into this and run for this. But I know I do have the skills, and I know I do have the nous, and I am really smart. My dad had dreams of being a counsellor before he passed away in the early 2000s, but he said these jobs aren't for people like us. And you have to be living under a rock if you haven't recognised the climate at the moment. My children think that there's something wrong with them. So this role for me is so important, to step up to the plate as tangata whenua and make sure that we are here and we are visible. We are 16 to 17% of this rohe, but we're not here. And you can have frameworks, you can have engagement frameworks, you can have rōpū, you can have advisory groups, but they don't actually get a chance to make a decision at the table. And I want to be here for our people, for all our people, but it's really important for me to be there for my children, for our mokopuna, to have those hard decision-making decisions that I can be a part of, from concept to execution. I don't want to be a bolt-on afterwards. Kia ora.
Kia ora team, Joe Rasmussen again. Look, I made it clear at the very start, I'm standing because I truly love Mangere-Otahuhu. It's been my home for over 30 years. That's one. Number two is I'm standing because I was elected in 2022. I've got their experience to continue to advocate for our people. Number 3, I stand solidly on my children and their generations going forward as well. And I think that's really important for us to be more future focused, to think about our young people, but also think about our seniors as well. Think about our seniors and everyone else. So I just want to lay that clear, but just something to think about as well. You know, I think of, you know, what we have achieved over the last 3 terms. I think the advocacy with our councillors, our Lotu, as well as our Filipaina and our local board in terms of the David Longi Park. I'm really proud that our team were able to advocate strongly to get that up and running. Number 2 is the airport shares. We fought very hard as a local board to stop that from happening. And that was really important for our local board to hold that, because that, yeah, I'll stop there. And third, look, I'll continue. There's so many community groups that have presented before us that we've managed to advocate for funding, for allocated funding there. Not only for Mangere East, not only for Mangere Central, Mangere Bridge, right. Thank you, brother. I'll stop there. Oh, and I'm running under Labour as well. Thank you. Apologies.
Talofa lava, Luke Mealamu. I'm running under Fix Auckland with my good friend Wayne Brown. Team, I'm not going to ask you to vote for me. I'm just going to ask you to vote, because, like Harry said, only 25 people voted in the last week. So I'm not going to tell you to vote for me. My work, like Sauni, ChatGPT me, and you'll see what I do in our community. I hire from our community, I work in our community, and I'll continue to do that, if elected or not. So I'd like to wish all the candidates all the best. Thank you, Alf and Lotu, for your work in the last 2 decades of advocating for our community. There's some fresh blood here, just asking everyone to vote. Thank you.
Train of thought of what I was going to say. Maloelele, my name is Vicky Howe. I am running with for Fix Auckland together with Luke Mealamu. I just want to say that between the two of us, we've already delivered some changes for you at the town centre. We've given you a cleaner town centre, a safer town centre, and we've also employed locally, so we've given employment as well. Imagine what we can do if we are at the governing board table, if this is what we can do without an elected member status, without the need to advocate. Like, I'm just saying that there's huge potential there. Other than voting, I just want to say that if you followed me, this is now my 4th time speaking at one of these events. The game needs to change. If you're continuing to see the same results, then you gotta ask why is the game needs to change. So that's why I'm saying vote. You've got all these people that are now running. Look at our profile statements, look at the skills and the diversity of each and every one of us, what we can bring to the table that will represent you. And that's all I have to say. Malo.
I just want to start this kōrero by first acknowledging our current councillors, our Filipaina and Lotu Fuli. If you know their mahi, they have been some of the most amazing and strongest advocates that we've had for our community. And so thank you, Lotu, if you're watching online, I knew you are. And thank you, Alf. My name is Sauni Nelson. I'm running for one of the 2 vacant seats on the Manukau City Council, and I'm running independent. Basically, I used to, in the last 2 terms, I actually ran under a Labour ticket, so I'm very closely affiliated, and I also know how very strong the Labour ticket is. In saying that, I'm a really big believer that no one person should be in governance roles for any longer than 4 terms. Sorry, Alf, I love you with all my heart, but that's my position because I believe in succession planning. It's one of the other reasons why every single election that I've run, I've been one of the only candidates in all of Auckland that actually run rangatahi. I've got another rangatahi running right now, and I'm going to plug him. Zach Tulua, he's 22 years old, and he's running for the Otara Papatui local board. We want to make history, and we want to vote the very first Otara rangatahi onto the Otara Papatui local board. The previous years, I ran 18-year-olds. They did pretty well. They didn't get elected, but it set a pathway for our rangatahi to feel more confident about running now. Vote Swanee, and ideally alongside Lotu Fuli, and I back Lotu Fuli because out of all of us, no respect to our candidates, she's the best candidate, I feel, to carry on the amazing mahi that's been done from previous councillors and moving forward. And ideally, I'd love to serve that role alongside her because we've worked before together and I've got the skill set and I love Manukau City. Kia ora.
Kia ora, I'm Peter Sykes. I'm standing for the Green Party. If you want to read more, you can. It's over there. I don't like giving out rubbish, so I'll take it. I'm standing for the Mangere-Otahuhu Local Board, and the reason people need to vote for me is that I will be still doing the work that I've been doing for the last 35 years, and I'll just leave it there. Unfortunately, Harry gets the last word.
What's he going to say? What's he going to say?
He's our youth representative.
What was the question again? It's been so long. I honestly was.
Why should they vote you?
Oh, yeah. Hey, folks, if you... Oh, yeah, sorry. Harry Whatitolia for under the Labour Party. But can I just invite everyone to cast their mind back to Auckland Anniversary 2023, right? There was no political banner. There was no toing and froing. There was a flood and people who cared. Every single one of the people standing before you helped out for our community. Leadership from ALF set up the evacuation centre. Peter Sykes looking after Mangere East. Vicky and the MSD team came. Luke, every single one of these people here helped. Why should you trust any one of these guys? Man, they've got the credentials. I wouldn't even trust myself. But honestly, the very people here, right, have the skills, have the making to guide our community in the next 3 years. Much like Luke said, can I just invite everybody? Cast your vote. We are the last to cast our vote and least likely to cast our vote, but we are the first to complain. We are disproportionately impacted by these changes, yet we don't have a say. If you don't have a say, be prepared for others to have a say for you. In closing, the questions about trust, Papali'i. You know, I never really talk about my family and these things, but in your hands and in the hands of our community is the ability to shape the community that they grow up in. So us as local board leaders or community leaders have to trust that when we're away from our kids, away from our family, that they're in your hands. My wife and I left our son this morning at 7:30, knowing that he will be in the hands of our community. Leadership is just not up here. Leadership is sitting right before us and people watching. Leadership demonstrates itself, whether it's Baki looking after his park, whether it's Ma'a inspiring the next generation, whether it's Emily running science in a van, or Des running the Monte Cecilia programs, whether it's Trevor riding the cycle lanes that nobody likes, or whether it's Joe getting our messages out. Can I just encourage everybody? It's the one time we stand equal before everybody. Exercise your vote, have your say. Ia manuia lau whiwhiringa i ra manuia tatu whainga palo tafa. Manuia le tua whaftai.
Well, there you are, people. They have spoken, the candidates have spoken, and you've heard them. And I think they did pretty well tonight, given the pressure that they were under to just respond in just 1 or 2 minutes. So why don't we just give them one big rousing applause for really helping out tonight. And of course, we know that the job now is for everyone to get involved in voting and getting our families and our communities involved. That's the next job, because we know, as we heard earlier on, not many of our people actually do that kind of stuff. So we just got to get behind them. Look, I know it's been, we've gone over time, and I've just been told that we should round up the evening. There's still time for you to network. There's still some tea and coffee and a little bit of food left over there for people to, again, just talk amongst the candidates again and get familiar, make sure you're connected up. You never know tonight, by connecting up with one of the candidates, you might even fall in love for the very first time. Yes, that's right. So tonight, sorry, there weren't any questions involved in the responses. I know. I thought of that earlier as well, because I could hardly see my notes, and I was going, Can we just have a couple of so folks, we are going to move to conclude, and what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to conclude with a little Samoan proverb that rounds it all up as part of our karakia for this evening. Yes, Alf.
Just around K, and also just to acknowledge the people.
Kapai.
Sorry, look, I just taken this firstly just to say thank you to everybody that's turned up. Also want to acknowledge Kay, who's standing in Waitakere. This is Māori Pacific, which is we just want to acknowledge you. And the last acknowledgement is for Pale and also Blue Spur, just to say thank you so much for putting this on. That's all I was to say. Kia ora.
Kapai. Thank you. Yeah. So I was timing you for 1 minute. Yeah, okay. So there you are, folks. So to round off our evening, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. There is a Samoan prayer, I can't remember, it goes like this. Tau meina o pua ula, au meina o aunga o aute, se I meina o muia au la au, e osi ele taulanga, which simply means, when it comes to our people, continue to give the most beautiful of our hibiscus. When it comes to our people, continue to give the freshest of our frangipani. When it comes to our people, continue to include the young palm frond. And together, we give sacrifice to our gods. Take care of yourselves. That's our karakia for the evening. We'll see you back at the next meeting. Whaftai. Be safe.